Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It is the 19th of August today, and I am back with another week of knitting vlog. If you're new here, my name's Hayley. I'm a nurse and knitter from Melbourne, Australia. I like to share my knitting, my crochet, my sewing, and my crafting here on this channel. So if you'd like to stick around, feel free to subscribe. But this week is looking like a fairly chill one. I think I'm going to have a fair amount of time to get some knitting in. So I wanted to take you along with me and show you what I get up to. So settle on in, grab a drink, grab a snack, and I think we'll just get started. Now I have a couple of knitting goals / plans for this week and things that I want to achieve. And the first one I think you will have heard about in my most recent video, which is going to be a knit and chat. I think I probably would have talked about it a fair amount, and I've posted about it a lot on my Instagram so far. And that is my Salty Days knit along that I'm co-hosting with Morgan from Morgan Unraveled. I am so excited to announce that we're hosting this. We're hosting a knit along from September 1st to November 30th, knitting the Salty Days sweater by Kutovakika, which is this gorgeous lace / cable sweater pattern. And the idea of the knit along is to connect with like-minded knitters across the world and knit a really versatile sweater. So if you're in the Southern Hemisphere like Morgan and I, you could knit this sweater up using a cotton or a cotton merino blend to make a really beautiful spring / summer piece. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere where it's coming into fall / autumn, you can knit this up using a wool blend, a merino, that kind of thing, to make a really nice plush, cozy winter sweater. So that's kind of the idea. I'm really excited to get started on this sweater. And my goal for this week is to swatch. I have 2 yarn options in mind for this sweater. Both of them are cotton / cotton blends. The first one I'll show you, this is Annette Erickson Eco Cotton. Sorry, my brain is short-circuited. In the color white. And I've had this yarn in stash for a little while. I bought 1 ball of it with the intention of knitting up a My Favorite Things knitwear camisole. But I just never got around to it because I needed to gauge swatch and all of that stuff. But I decided that it would probably be perfect for this sweater. It gives me coastal grandma core, which is kind of what I'm going for with this sweater. I want to be able to wear it in summer as a layering piece on those colder summer nights, and especially during spring. So I just thought white would be perfect, but I do need to gauge swatch with this and make sure that it is a fabric that I like. The other option I have has been in my stash for a long time as well, and I did buy it with the intention of making a cotton blend transitional sweater. I was thinking blouse number 1, and I actually cast on blouse number 1 using this yarn, but then frogged it because I wasn't enjoying the process. But this is Modavira Shadow 8 ply. So it's 60% cotton and 40% acrylic. So the colorway is navy print, and it's kind of this variegated blue / purple kind of yarn. It kind of looks like denim. That was the word that Morgan used to describe it. And I think if I don't like the fabric that this one makes up, I'll end up using this yarn. I really don't want to have to go out and buy a lot of yarn. As I said, I only have 1 ball of this Annette Erickson, so I will need to buy more of this, which already kind of scares me because I don't know if the dye lot I can find again, but that's fine. But this yarn I have quite a few balls of. I think I have 6 to 8 balls I think I have in my stash, so I wouldn't need to go and buy more yarn for this, I would hope. This week, I really want to swatch for that and pick which yarn I want to use. If you are interested in joining the knit along, I'll put all the details in the description below. I've also pinned the post on my Instagram feed right at the top, so you can see all the information there. I also have a community post here on YouTube about it. So yeah, that's my first knitting plan for this week. My second knitting plan is actually to fix up a finished object. So I spoke about this sweater in my last podcast, and it is the Northland sweater that I knit for my boyfriend for his birthday. I haven't actually showed this at all on this channel yet, but here it is. I knit this up using Annette Erickson, what was it? Scandi wool, which is 50% acrylic, 50% wool. And I love how this sweater came out. It is beautiful. It is soft. It's perfect. He wore it to dinner the other night. But the problem with this sweater is that it is way too short. I don't know what I was doing here. I think I really just wanted to get it off the needles so I could send it to him. And although I'd measured it compared to one of his other sweaters, it's still too short. It's the length of sweater that I would wear. I've tried this on and I wore it to Morgan's house the other week when I was in Canberra. And it's the length of sweater that I would like, but it's way, way too short for my boyfriend. So my plan for this week is to pick up the stitches for the body above the ribbing, to cut off the ribbing and to knit the body a little bit longer and then knit the ribbing a bit longer and finish this up and hopefully get this back to him so that he can actually wear it. My next plan for this week is to finish a sock. I have 2 socks on the needles at the moment. The first one you will have seen in my previous podcast and also in my sheep show vlog, and those are my petal drop socks by Handmade by Florence. I finished up the first sock, which looks gorgeous, and I do have the second sock on the needles. I'm just currently working on the leg, and I would love to be able to finish that up. So if I could finish that this week, that would be great. I'm using Rosarios for Maya, which is this beautiful printed yarn, kind of speckled. I love this yarn. I think it's beautiful. So if I could finish that sock, that would be great. But I do have another sock on the needles, which I will show you. I cast this sock on last night. I was away on a trip to Canberra and I got back last night and I was so excited to cast these on. So these are the August socks from the Colourwork Cuff Club by Summerlee Knits. Hold on, let me stuff my ends in. So if you buy the pattern and subscribe to the Colourwork Cuff Club, each month you get a new colourwork chart for the cuff of a sock. And this was the August pattern. So these beautiful 4-petal flowers with 2 leaf stem motifs. And I decided to knit it up using this chocolate brown yarn, which I'll show you here. This is the Tweedy Socks Easy Wash alpaca sock yarn. That's the ball band there. It comes pre-caked up, so this is the cake it already came in. And I knew I wanted to knit up socks with this yarn. I was thinking of doing like a waffle stitch sort of sock with this, but I thought blended with my leftovers of the Maya yarn for the flower motifs, I just thought it would look fantastic. So that's what I've done. This is the Maya yarn left over from my first sock, and I still have quite a bit left, which is great, blended with the Tweedy socks. So yeah, I'm loving these. I did the contrast stripe at the top of the cuff, and then I did a 2x1 rib, which is what's suggested in the base pattern for these socks. And then yeah, I finished the chart last night. It's really addictive. I'm up to the heel flap. I'm doing a slip stitch heel construction with gusset decreases, and I'm loving it. It's addictive. I think they are quite tight. I'm knitting these up with a 2.5mm needle. I think the pattern suggested 2.75, but that's okay. It will stretch. I'm just going to aggressively block these. I did try this socks on when I finished the colourwork, and they were quite tight to get over my heel, but I did get there. So I'm just going to block these out and hope that they stretch a little bit. But yeah, if I could finish either this sock or the petal drop sock this week, I will be a happy chappy. Then my last plan for this week is to cast on a Christmas gift knit. I have so many Christmas gifts that I want to knit this year, and we're coming very, very close to September, which is kind of crunch time. I have a lot of projects that I want to gift this year, and I want to get a head start. So I have a couple of plans, which I don't think I'll talk about all of them right now. I don't think I'll talk about any of them right now because I don't know what I'll actually cast on this week. But I have mittens that I want to knit, beanie, 2 beanies actually, Sunday socks. I know I want to knit a couple Sunday socks this year for Christmas gifts again, and just a couple other bits and bobs. So if I can cast on a gift knit, that would be great. So those are my plans for this week. Knit up my Salty Days swatch and pick a yarn, fix my boyfriend's Northland sweater, finish a sock, and cast on a Christmas gift knit. I feel like those things are achievable with the time that I have this week. We'll see. We'll find out at the end of this video whether I actually achieved all of those things. But I'm just excited to have some time to devote to my knitting, to enjoy my knitting, and to share it with you guys. I really enjoy making these videos and showing you guys what I get up to. So that's what's going on this week. Let me know what you're knitting on at the moment, or working on, crafting on, stitching on, whatever it may be. And I will catch up with you guys later. It's only been a couple of hours and I know I just spoke to you, but I have updates. I have ticked off 2 of my goals for this week already. I got really excited about the Salty Days and I knew I wanted to swatch today. And so here it is. I'll put in some other clips and videos. I might put my reel that I made up here as well for this swatch, but it is done. And I have got gauge. After blocking, it says you need 17 stitches per 4 inches in the 1x2 ribbing. And after some steam blocking and a little bit of stretching, that's what I got. You really can't see it very well like this. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. So that's ticked off the list. So there's not going to be any more Salty Days talk this week in this vlog because that's done. And I'm not casting on until September 1st, which is 2 weeks away, I think, a week and a half away, something like that. So Salty Days for this week is done. Ticked off the list. The next thing that I achieved was I cast on a gift knit. So this is a baby knit. I'm knitting up, what's the pattern? Hold on. Okay, these are called the Grey Overalls by Berta Knit Store. I'll put a picture here of what they're supposed to look like, but I'm knitting them up in the same yarn that I worked up my baby bear bonnet in, which is Cleckheaton baby yarn 100% nylon in this really cute baby pink color. And this is one of the legs. I am knitting up the second size, but I think my gauge is a little bit bigger than what's suggested in the pattern, which is fine. I'm not fussed about that. But yeah, I've cast that on and I'm about to put these stitches on hold and work up the second leg before joining the 2 legs together. This pattern is knit flat, so the front and the back are knit flat and then you seam them together, at least as far as I'm aware. So I'll be knitting up the front panel this week, I think. So yeah, there we go. Salty Days swatch is done and I've cast on a gift knit. It's not a Christmas gift knit. So maybe that's the loophole. Maybe I can cast something else on this week. But yeah, I'm going to be sending this off at the start of October because their baby is due at the end of October. So this is like a happy birth month gift. So yeah, that's that. I think I'm going to cast on the second leg now and get a start on that. And I don't really have anything else to do today. I've done all my life admin-y stuff. I've been mainly doing Salty Days admin this morning. I did take my car this morning actually to go get a quote for a repair to my wing mirror. And then I have to take my car for a service on Thursday. So a lot of random life stuff happening, but I don't need to leave the house again today, which is nice. I like to only leave the house once every day. If I leave the house more than once in a day, that's a busy day. That's too much for me. That's stressful. Leave the house once, come home and chill. So it's chill time now. And it's only 12:30 in the afternoon. I feel like the world is my oyster now. Let's get knitting.
Golden days drifting far away. Light is leaving town. Colors fade, but I'm thinking we stay just for a little while. Let's lose track of time. Darling, stay for a little longer while I hold your time will wait. So just rest your head upon my shoulder. Nothing in our way is colder, but the day's not over yet. Summer nights and go by as we fight off the cold. Holding you tight, you know just what I'm thinking. I don't want this moment to go. No, I don't want this moment to go. Let's lose track of time, darling, stay for a little longer while I hold your time will wait. So just rest your head upon my shoulder, nothing in our way.
It is 5:30 p.m. and I wanted to update you one more time today before I lose the light. I did quite a bit of work on my grey overalls. I'm up to a point now where I need to do a couple more rows before I cast off some stitches for the armholes. But I'm actually going to put this project down for a little while. I think I was just getting a little bit bored. Who knows, maybe I'll pick it up later this evening. I'm not sure. I did want to pick up my August socks and maybe get some rows in on those. But I really want to knit on something chunkier. I'm kind of sick of the small needles. Although these are 4mm, I think I want to work on something 5mm and above for the rest of tonight. So I know there's a beanie that I want to knit for myself, but I also have a beanie that I want to knit up for a Christmas gift. So once I decide on what the hell I want to work on, I'm sure I'll show you. But right now I'm kind of in that stage where I have a lot of things that I want to cast on and a lot of things that I actually want to work on. But I've got kind of decision paralysis. So there's just too many options and too many things I'm excited about. So my brain can't make a choice. So I'm kind of a sitting duck right now. But I might just keep casting on new things. I've got cast on energy. I have the itch. I want to cast all the things on. I've got all of my stash yarns laid out that I want to knit on in the coming months. And they're all calling to me. I'm I want to knit them all. So usually when I get into this stage, I do just end up casting a bunch of things on. And that is where I find the joy with my knitting, when I'm feeling that crazy cast on energy, just following that vibe and just casting on whatever. So I think that's what I'll do tonight. No plans for dinner currently. I'm not sure what I want to eat, but I might sign off the talking portion for today. So with that being said, I hope you're enjoying this vlog and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Afternoon everyone, it's just gone 1:30 and I've sat down to have some lunch. I've got, I don't know if you can see it, tom yum soup with noodles and rice and dumplings, which I'm so excited to eat. These are the gluten-free, I think it's prawn hargo dumplings by Mr. Chen's. You can get them at Woolworths and they're the best gluten-free dumplings that I've found. I tend to either steam them in the steamer or pan fry them with some sesame oil. You just pan fry them for 2 minutes with the oil and then you put about half a cup of water in the pan and just cover it with a lid straight away and just steam it until all the water's gone. And they come out so perfectly, because I find with gluten-free dumplings and rice paper and stuff like that, they can get really sticky and not that nice. So definitely highly recommend those if you are gluten-free. But I have been out all morning. So I went to my friend's house this morning. We were going to go to the park to walk his dog, but it was raining all night and then it's just continued to rain all day today. So we ended up just staying inside, having coffee and playing this dominoes game. I'll put a picture up somewhere and videos and stuff so you can see, because I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I am obsessed with it now. I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. We played for like 3 hours or something like that. So definitely worth a go if you're into like board games and number games and stuff like that. I want to buy a box for myself so that I can play with my family when they come to visit, because I think they'd like it. Whilst I'm waiting for my food to cool down, I might update you on the knitting I did last night. When I left you last night, I was saying how I wanted to cast on something chunky. I did work on my August Colourwork Cuff Club socks for a little bit. I did a little bit more on the heel flap, but I got really bored because of the small gauge. So I decided to cast something on, which you would have seen. I've cast on another quick ombre hat by Emily Dormier. Here it is. This morning I finished up, no, I haven't finished the colourwork chart. I've got maybe 5 rows left of the colourwork chart before I can start decreases and things like that. This is a free pattern you can get on Ravelry, and it's a really, really easy pattern to follow, really basic. There's quite a few sizes actually. I'm knitting up the adult man size, which is the largest size. I think you cast on 108 stitches for that size. And I'm using this blue yarn. This is Cleckheaton Country Naturals. I don't know what color it is. It's like this blue tweedy color, but I was knitting up a sweater for my boyfriend in this color, but Cleckheaton don't actually make this colorway anymore of this yarn, so that was a shame. So I ended up knitting something else, which you saw yesterday, but Cleckheaton don't actually make this yarn in this color anymore. So I have a couple 100 grams of this yarn and knew I wanted to make up a beanie, so that's what we're doing with this one. I am going to be gifting this as a Christmas gift knit to one of my family members. I don't know if they actually watch this podcast or any videos on this channel, so I'm not going to say who it's for, but yeah, that's what it looks like. It's coming along beautifully. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, that's what I did last night. And I think I'm going to work on that later today, but I do have some uni work I need to do today. I was out a little bit longer this morning than I intended to be, so I've lost a little bit of time, but that's okay. I'm going to work for a couple of hours here at the table, and then I do have a gym class tonight, so I think I'll do some uni work for a couple of hours, maybe get in some knitting before I go to my gym class. But definitely when I get back later tonight, I will be knitting, so I'll have some more stuff to show you. Otherwise, today is a lovely, dreary, cozy winter's day, which is making my heart really happy. But yeah, I'm gonna eat my lunch, which I'm really excited about, and then yeah, get some uni work done. So I'll probably catch up with you guys a little bit later tonight. It's 10 p.m. and I got carried away. I went to my gym class, which was great, and then I came home and I finished this beanie, which was great. I finished up the colourwork chart and then obviously worked the decreases. I've woven in on the ends and now it's time to give it a block. I think that is honestly one of the best feelings in the world. I love finishing a knitted project in the evening right before I go to bed, because it means I can block it, lay it out to dry, and then when I wake up in the morning and I come downstairs, I get to look at a finished object. To be fair, this isn't 100% finished. I want to add a pom-pom to this one, but I want to block the beanie first and then put the pom-pom on. I've never blocked anything with a pom-pom on it before. Let me know if you can do that. I don't know if it would be necessary. I would feel weird about blocking a pom-pom. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to block the beanie tonight, give it a good little wool wash. And then, yeah, I am not sure about the sizing of this beanie. I obviously don't have a man's head, so I can't really speak to this situation. But hopefully it fits him. I have only knit the adult women's version of this. And that was quite snug on my head pre-blocking, whereas this is quite loose in comparison. I do have gauge. We'll just see what happens. I'm sure it'll fit his head. It looks like man head size, you know what I mean? Anyway, even if it doesn't fit his head and it's a bit loose, it's okay, because it's 100% wool. So yeah, I'm going to block this beanie and then I'm going to probably go to bed. I have been watching some old Laura Penrose from Penrose Knits knitting vlogs. I'm currently watching one from a year ago. It's just like a weekend knitting vlog where they go to like the woods and she takes her kids for a walk in the woods. But it's also the first time she shows her what is now the sweet shop blanket. And so I think it's just really cool to see, I guess, the first few stages of that project now that it's, you know, a really successful pattern. I think that's really cool to go back and look at. So yeah, but yeah, I think I'll block this, I'll go to bed and go to sleep, and then I'll catch up with you in the morning. I am going to film a knit and chat tomorrow, which you will have already seen. So I might not speak to you until after I record that. Anyway, we'll see. I'll chat to you tomorrow. Afternoon. It's 4 p.m. now, and this morning I filmed my knit and chat, which you would have already seen. I only ended up talking for like 45 minutes, so I have no idea how long that video is gonna be, but I hope you enjoyed it for how long it was. And then I did some uni work, and now I'm cozied up on the couch. There was a thunderstorm happening, but now the sun's come back out, so classic Melbourne. But I've got the Titanic on in the background, and I'm still working on my grey overalls. I've cast off for the armholes, and I have done some work up towards the top. And I reckon I've got to get a couple more centimeters done, I think, on the top part before I do the button band little bit at the top. But I really would like to get this front panel cast off this afternoon, because then it means I can do a little bit more work on my August socks. I really want to get the heel flap, heel turn, gusset, and maybe some of the gusset decreases done today. But we'll see. Oh my gosh, Rose she's already running. She's already running down the Titanic. Oh my goodness, it's all happening. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to get that stuff done on this sock today, just so I've got a little bit more progress done on this, because it's literally Wednesday today. Am I right in saying that? Yeah, so we're almost halfway through the week. So yeah, those are my plans. I've got myself a little beverage, and I reckon I will update you a little bit later, possibly when I finish up this front panel. I've never made like knitted buttonholes before, so I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, I finished the front piece of these overalls. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. I'm kind of keen to steam them before I seam it all together. But I did the buttonholes and they're literally just yarn overs. It's just one yarn over. And because this is nylon as well, it's super duper stretchy. So the buttonholes stretch, which is great. But yeah. How cute, how cute. I'm really keen to steam them. I do need to pick some buttons. I don't have any buttons to use yet. But I have cast on the back piece. I really want to knit the back panel. And I think that I could probably finish these overalls today. But I think what I might do is finish up the heel flap on my August socks first and maybe pick up stitches, do the heel turn, sorry, and then pick up stitches for the gusset. See what time it is, and then maybe start on the back panel. Because yeah, I really want to get my August socks moving along a little bit. But I'm still watching the Titanic. But yeah, I'm kind of just chilling, which is nice. I might not talk to you guys for a little while. I really want to get some solid knitting done. And yeah, I haven't really got much else to say. I'm going to pick up these socks now. Good evening, everyone. It's 9 p.m. and I am finally updating you. But I want to be completely transparent. Today was not a good day for me. There's a lot of stuff going on with my university at the moment and just getting my honours thesis done and that whole process, and it's been delayed a little bit, which is sort of impacting my life in quite significant ways. And so yeah, today was not a great day. I spent the whole day from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. in the office with my supervisors. When you're making decisions about, I guess, your career and the projection of your career and how that has a domino effect on every other aspect of your life and your plans. As someone who's a control freak and likes to have control of everything, when things are outside of my control, like applications and assessments and things like that, things that I just have to wait around for, it can be really difficult and it takes a toll on my mental health. So did a lot of crying today, but that's okay because I got to come home and have a Zoom knit night with Morgan and Mickey, which was just so needed. And it's so nice to have friends who I can rely on and spend time with to just take my mind off of everything else that's going on. So had my Zoom knit night with them. I just watched Morgan's latest video where she swatched for the Salty Days sweater. Go check out Morgan's video. She's working with the most beautiful, like icy blue, but also kind of minty green yarn. So go check that out if you haven't already. I'll link Morgan's channel down below. Because I always forget to link things. I've noticed that recently. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm home now. I'm going to do a little bit more knitting before heading to bed. Tomorrow I have to take my car in for a service, and I'm hoping they can get me a cab home so that I can spend some time at home and just be in my space. As I said the other day, I don't like leaving my house. And so being away from home today for a long period of time was also hard on my little brain, my little introvert anxious brain. Anyway, enough of that heavy talk. Let's talk about my knitting projects. That's not what I'm working on. I showed you the overalls, the front panel. That's done. I'm knitting on the back panel, and I have just kind of split for the first strap. I think you can see that there. You put the stitches on hold and then you knit up the straps. So I really, really would love to finish this tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get it done. I mean, I only need to knit 2 garter stitch straps. So I think I could do it, but I'm not putting pressure on myself. Obviously, I've had enough pressure going on today. But I reckon I might just hunker down, get cozy and finish up these straps and maybe seam to get it together. We'll see. We'll see how much time I have. But yeah, that's the overalls. I can't remember if I updated you on my... No, I didn't update you on my August socks. So I worked on my August socks as well last night. And I turned the heel, which you can't really see, and picked up stitches for the gusset and started the gusset decreases. I think I've done 5 rows on the gusset decreases, so really haven't got far, but yeah, they're coming along, which is great. The heel flap seems like quite short. I don't know if you can see that. Not very well, but the heel flap goes from here to here, and that seems quite short in comparison to other sock patterns that I've knit recently. But that's the measurement that the pattern suggests, and I'm just going to hope that blocking kind of loosens these up a little bit. This is alpaca, so I'm hoping it'll grow and bloom a little bit. But yeah, I'm not fussed. They're just socks at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm really proud of these, and they're so soft. This yarn, so incredibly soft, like a pillow. It's insane. So perfect for socks. Highly, highly recommending this yarn. Actually, I redact that statement. I was about to give this yarn a 5 stars. I'm going to give it a 4 stars, not even a 4.5, because it's quite splitty when I'm knitting with it. So sometimes I find I'm not going through the stitch. I'll go through the yarn, and I find that really annoying, but that's okay. It's just a little bit splitty. I'll cope, you know, I'll survive. But yeah, really soft. So 4 stars, maybe 4.5. I don't know. Anyway, it's great yarn. I like it. So yeah, those are all my updates. I don't think I've done anything else except stress about my life. So yeah, I'm just going to get cozy now and finish up these overalls. And that means I will have this little gift knitted set done and dusted, which is great, which means I can just buy a card and send it off, which is great. That makes me feel good to have that ticked off the list, which means I can then cast on something else. I still need to pick up the stitches for my boyfriend's sweater. I do want to do that this week. I cannot remember for the life of me what needle size I used. I'm going to try and work it out. I think it was a 5mm, but I'll see if I can find it anywhere. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get knitting now. Good morning, everyone. It is like 9 o'clock-ish, and I just got home after dropping my car off for a service. So now I'm going to have a cozy stay-at-home day until I need to go pick up my car. I think it's at like 3:30-ish, he said. So I'm going to get cozy on the couch. I did not finish the overalls last night, so I'm determined to get them done today. I did also realize that I made a mistake. I did 4 rows of stockinette when I needed to do 4 rows of garter stitch, but it's fine. it'll be fine. It's just the back of the overalls. It's not that big of a deal. So I want to get those cast off today. That's my plan. And I'm just going to take it slow today. I'm just going to be really kind and patient with myself and take it one step at a time, one task at a time. I need to edit my knit and chat that I filmed the other day so that can go up on Sunday. And I also have a little bit of uni work that I want to do. So I'm gonna sit right there and get cozy and warm. I'm gonna put on some of my comfort movies. My favorite comfort movies are usually Tangled. That's my favorite movie of all time. Tangled, the Lorax, Trolls, which I know I'm sure some of you who have like kids or toddlers are like, what the hell? But I'm a chronic movie rewatcher. I feel a lot of, I guess, anxiety with watching new things. It kind of stresses me out. I don't like not knowing what happens. So yes, either we'll probably do Tangled, Trolls, the Lorax. What else do I rewatch all the time? I think those are probably the three that I rewatch a lot. Or probably just some other kids movie. I'm a big fan of like animated kids movies and obviously Disney and things like that. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. We'll get cozy. I do have some YouTube to catch up on actually. I've got a couple of weeks worth of YouTube that I haven't watched. I haven't been keeping up with Zoella's Vlogist. I watched the first couple of days and then I've just fallen behind. So I'm going to get around to watching some of that as well. I said to my mum this morning, my goal for today is to not cry. I know it's okay to cry, but I cry a lot. And I did a lot of crying yesterday. So today, the goal is to be kind to myself and to not cry. I've got this. I have faith in myself. It's going to be a good day.
There's a push and there's a pull. There's a new moon and then it's full. The tide will rise and rise until it falls. And there's a rhythm to it all. There's a you and there's a me. There's a pattern in the chaos, a current in the sea. And there are times I wish I had a mountain top to see the rhythm of it all. Every spring leads to a fall. There's a heart in every home. The young will always wish that they were older. And there's a rhythm to it all. There's a you and there's a me. There's a pattern in the chaos, a current in the sea. And there are times I wish I had a mountain top to see the rhythm of it all. What is new will be forgotten, and there's a use for the broken things you've lost. If you hold it loose, you'll find that there is...
Good afternoon. It's just gone 4 p.m. This morning I had a really big sleep in and then I had a gym class and I came home and I've just been on FaceTime with my boyfriend for the last 3 hours. I was just sitting on the couch, knitting, watching TV, just chilling. So that's been really nice. But I wanted to quickly update you because I am going out somewhere tonight, which I will tell you about in a minute. But first, I'll talk about what I've been knitting on. I have cast on a new project. It's a Christmas gift knit, and it is my dad's sweater that he's been wanting me to knit up for ages. So if you've been keeping up with my podcasts, you'll know that I've been going back and forth for the last couple of months on what pattern and how I might construct this fisherman style Aran sweater that he wants. He did pick a pattern. It was a free drops pattern. It's called the Dreams of Aran pattern, but I wasn't a fan of the construction and the way the pattern was written. It's obviously a free pattern, so it's not that in depth, and I just felt like it wasn't something that at my current skill level I could follow effectively. It was also bottom up, which is not my favorite construction at all, and it had really weird sleeve situations basically, and I would have had to end up doing seaming, which I'm also not a fan of, just because I find that it impacts the stretch of the garment, and I don't want it to have tight armpits for my dad. So yeah, was going back and forth for a while about what to do and how to do it, and I'd been procrastinating starting the project a little bit because of that, because I want it to be perfect. I want it to be right. You know, it's a big gift knit, so I want it to be really nice. And basically last night I knew that I was going to cast this on, and after a little bit of fiddling I decided to modify the Moby Sweater Man pattern to include the cables that my dad is a fan of. So I have just finished all the short rows, and I'm up to a cable row, and I've just put the work on pause. That's why it's kind of like all squished up funny, but you can see here that it looks very different to the Moby. So my dad really liked this honeycomb texture, which is a feature of the Dreams of Aran pattern. And so originally I was just going to incorporate that into the Moby instead of the crisscross pattern that's usually on the middle panel. But then when I started working up this section, I realized I also didn't want to include the garter stitch stripes that are on either side of this chunkier cable. So I decided to do mini twists, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm really, really happy with that. And it's also sort of simplified the Moby for me as well, because I have a Moby sweater on hold at the moment for myself, and I just find it really hard to knit on because I find I lose track really quickly. I really have to concentrate and know where I'm up to in the chart to work on that. Even though I've memorized, you know, what I need to do for the cables and the patterns, I can read my work, but it's knowing when I need to be cabling in comparison to everything else. I find that pattern really overwhelming. So this has really simplified it. So yeah, we've got the honeycomb in the middle, and then some purl stitches, small twist, more purl stitches, the bigger twist, and then another small twist, and then we go into the double moss stitch, which is a feature of the Moby sweater pattern. I'm thinking of doing, instead of the twists down the arm that you see on the Moby, I'm thinking of doing a braid. I think that could look really nice, but I've never done cabled braids before, so we'll see when we get there. This is a big mammoth project. The yarn that I'm using for this pattern is this beautiful cream coloured yarn. This is by Cleckheaton. This is Cleckheaton Country 8 ply. And I do have a gauge swatch that I have washed and blocked in the double moss stitch. And the drape on this is fantastic. Like, it feels so light. For a 100% wool yarn, it feels so light, it's so airy. I'm knitting this up with a 5mm needle, and I'm about half a stitch off gauge, but I figure compared to a gauge swatch, comparing my gauge swatch to like cable work, this is definitely going to be tighter than my gauge swatch. So honestly, the fact that this is a little bit bigger is probably a good thing. And yeah, this yarn is beautiful. It's so incredibly soft, it's warm, it's, yeah, a great choice. My dad actually picked it based on the color. He wanted it to have like a little bit of dimension, so there's some sort of brown bits in there. Yeah, it's really lovely. So I'm loving working this up already. I currently have my Moby sweater on hold and also my book club cardigan on hold, which are both really heavily cabled projects. And I think a mistake that I've made with those projects is picking a yarn that's too large and a needle size that's too small. Both of those projects are on a 4mm needle, I believe. But I think what's stopping me from really wanting to work on them is the fact that the cables are so tight and the yarn is so much bigger than the needle size. I think I just made bad choices there. Whereas this just feels like it works, like it feels right. And although, you know, a cable row takes me a really long time, it isn't painful or frustrating to try and knit. I'm not like shoving my needle in, and yeah, I'm loving it. I think it's fantastic, and I'm just obsessed with how it's coming out. I honestly think I might make one for myself. Imagine just I'll knit everybody in my family just this sweater, and we can all be matching. But yeah, really loving this. So I'm using the Moby pattern for all the stitch counts. The charts I'm using in order to know when, you know, for the German short rows where and how many turns I have to do, and blah blah blah, and increases as well. But all the cables are different. So yeah, very heavily modified, but I'm loving it. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on today. I cast that on last night, and then I just finished up the German short rows just now. So I'm going to finish up the back yoke at some point. I don't think it'll be this week, but at some point I will finish up the back yoke. And yeah, kind of flying off the needles, which is a surprise. I'm not a huge fan of cables. I think because of the choices that I've made with my cable projects and the yarn and the needle size. Yeah, I'm excited to, maybe because it's a gift, I'm excited to knit it up for somebody else and for him to see the sweater that he imagined me knitting him come to life. He's, I know, Dad, you're watching this, but he's already seen this. I showed it to him this morning just to make sure he was happy with the honeycomb stitches, because they're a little bit larger than the ones on the drops pattern. But yeah, Dad, I hope you're liking it. I'm not going to show you any more now. From today onwards, Dad, you're not seeing this sweater. I want it. I want the reveal to be magical. So, but yeah. Now, tonight, I am going out into the city, which is a bit of a trek, but I'm excited because I'm going to see Beauty and the Beast on stage at the theatre with my friend Liv and her sister and one of her other friends as well. I am a musical theatre girly. I literally have Beauty and the Beast on the TV right now. I was like, you know what, Callum, I have to watch it before I go tonight. So we've been watching Beauty and the Beast this afternoon. But yeah, I'm a big theatre fan, love live theatre, and so I'm really freaking excited. I am gonna go get ready now. I need to wash my hair, and I think I might try curling it if I have time. It's 4:15. I need to get a tram at about 5:45ish. But I need to check the tram schedule because it's a weekend and trams run at different times on the weekend. I am going to go get ready, and I'll take you guys along with me. I'll show you little clips here and there. I'll show you the theatre and everything. I'm so excited. It's going to be such a nice night. And then tonight is F1 is back this weekend. They're in the Netherlands this weekend. Yes, the Netherlands. And so qualifying's on tonight at 11 p.m. So the show starts at 7:30. I'm imagining it'll probably take like 2.5 hours, so probably finish by 10, and I'll be home by 11 to get cozy and watch quali. So that's that. That's the update. I still haven't picked up stitches for my boyfriend's sweater, which is fine. I am taking my sock tonight, my August colourwork cuff socks. I am going to put these in my purse to work on the tram, and maybe during the show, we'll see. I have taken knitting to a theatre before, but it's different than the cinema. You know what I mean? Like it's meant to be an interactive experience. So this might just be for the tram and the intermission. But yes, I'm going to take that with me because I do want to finish a sock this week. I do. But anyway, that's the plan. Hope you're enjoying the vlog, and I'll catch up with you later.
golden days drifting far away. Light is leaving town. Colors fade, but I'm thinking we stay just for a little while. Let's lose track of time. Darling, stay for a little longer while I hold your time will wait. So just rest your head upon my shoulder. Nothing in our way. It's colder, but the day's not over yet. Summer nights, watch them go by as we fight off the cold. Holding you tight, you know just what I'm thinking. I don't want this moment to go. No, I don't want this moment to go. Let's lose track of time. Darling, stay for a little longer while I hold your time will wait. So just rest your head upon my shoulder.
Hello, happy Sunday. Believe it or not, it is 5:30 p.m. and I've had a pretty busy morning. I have cleaned the entire house top to bottom. I've got 6 shifts this week. So I wanted to make sure the house was clean and tidy, ready for a busy week so that I don't have to worry about it and be living literally in squalor for the week. So that's done, which is great. I got some uni work done, which was also great. And I'm finally settling in for the evening. It is race day, so there is a race at 11 p.m. tonight. So I will be staying up for that. So I have plenty of knitting time between now and when I'm going to go to sleep, which is great. Really happy about that. Beauty and the Beast last night was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. My cheeks were hurting so much from smiling and I laughed, I cried. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. If you're in Melbourne, definitely go watch it. It was incredible. I honestly, genuinely think it's one of the best stage productions I've ever seen. I did like maybe 5 or 6 rows on my August Colourwork Cuff Club socks, just on the gusset decreases. Nothing really of note to show you. I do have a little bit of progress done on my modified Moby sweater. I'm just going to finish this row whilst I'm talking to you so that I can show you properly. But I posted this on my Instagram this morning and I'm just obsessed with it. I really, really am in love with the modifications that I've made and the cable work, and I'm loving how it's looking. I did show my dad, which I think I told you yesterday, but I showed him again this morning and he likes it. So that's a good thing. It's a good sign. But yeah, it's just got me thinking about my version of the Moby sweater, which I actually did pull out this morning to have a look at. And I think what I really can't get my head around with the regular Moby design is just that every row something is happening. Like every single row, there's not a single row where you're not doing something, cabling or doing the crisscross design, like whatever it is, you're doing something every single row, and it requires so much of my concentration, and there's no like regularity or pattern to it, at least that I've been able to find. So my little tiny pea brain is not able to find a pattern that it can cling on to make it more mindless. So this having like, you know, a regular pattern, like every 3 rows, every 4th row for me is a cable row. So that pattern and regularity has made it a lot easier to knit up. But here it is. Oh, there we go. It is looking incredible. Like when I think cable sweater, like this is what I'm thinking. How gorgeous. They just look so yummy. And this color is fantastic. This yarn is great. Squishy, loving it. I talked all about it yesterday, so I won't talk your ear off anymore. And yeah, I'm going to keep working on the back yoke tonight. Can anyone tell me why my cable looks like that? It's going the correct way. This has happened before on some of my other knits. I think it's just the way the cable has like tucked itself, but why does it do that? Because it really frustrates me. Anyway, if you can tell me why my cable is doing that, that would be fantastic. Have I pulled it too tight? Is that why? Or I'm probably going to work on this tonight. Vlogging has made me realize how sort of chaotic my cast on energy is. I cast on a lot of things, but I like to have variety. It doesn't mean I finish everything all the time. You know, I've got languishing WIPs, which is fine. But I do cast on a lot of things, and I cast something on just this afternoon. Tiny weeny. Literally have done 3 rows. These are, I have the pattern here, hold on. These are the Eleanora mitts by Petra. And my friend Mickey from Mickey's Cozy Corner has already knit up these this winter, and they're gorgeous. And I decided I'm going to knit up a pair. These are going to be a Christmas gift as well. I figured with the Salty Days cowl coming up, and also I've applied to test knit the Maxine sweater by Laura from Penrose Knits. I'm not really going to have much time, I don't think, at the end of this year if I do end up getting accepted to the Maxine. In addition to this sweater as well, like I'm not going to have a lot of time to do my small Christmas gift knits. So I figured I'll just cast a bunch of them on now, so at least they're on the needles and they're ready to go, and so I can just knit on them when I can and have enough stuff to gift at the end of the year. This yarn is Great Southern Yarns. I have the little ball band in here. Great Southern Yarns. This is the colour Margaret Preston's, and this is their fingering weight merino. Yeah, it's just merino on its own. 4-ply fingering weight, and it's in this gorgeous ready colour. Check out my most recent podcast if you want to see this in better light or in the hank, because you can see it a lot better then. But yeah, I wound that up a couple days ago, or last week or something like that. And knew I wanted to cast on some mittens. And yeah, that's what we've gone with. This is another cable pattern. I don't know what it is with me and cables at the moment. I really am inspired by cables and colour work at the moment, which is difficult because those things take a lot of time, but is exciting because I like the way they look. So that's now on my needles as well. So this evening, I am going to get cozy. There is a new fibre-bound video. Ali has brought out a week of knitting vlog, and I'm so excited to watch it. It's literally sitting right there waiting for me. So I'm going to watch that. And then I've got frozen pizza for dinner tonight, which I'm so excited to eat. I think I'm going to heat that up soon. And oh, I actually want to do some baking this evening as well. I really want to make some chocolate chip muffins. So I might do that this evening as well whilst I'm waiting for the race to start. That's the plan for this evening. There is so much wind and rain right now, and we're in a lightning storm. I just heard the biggest rumble of thunder. There's literally lightning going off. I'm hoping this passes by the time I go to bed. This is insane. Like, it's literally just rolled in and slammed down. This is crazy. Hello, it's been a couple of days and I have picked up a couple night shifts and have only just got around to finishing up this vlog. I wanted to quickly recap all the knitting that I did this week and talk through if I met all of the goals that I set at the start of the week. First one was to finish a sock, I think. I didn't do that. So I wanted to finish either the petal drop sock or the August Colourwork Cuff Club sock. My petal drop sock is in the same state as it was. I did not work on this at all, which is a shame because I'm really excited to wear these socks. Like, I really want to put this sock on my foot. So I'm excited to actually have those done, but have a lot of big projects on the needles now. So this one is going on the back burner for just a little bit, but that's okay. Let me find my Colourwork Cuff Club sock actually. I don't know where it is. Found it. I took it to work with me for night shifts, but didn't actually really work on it that much. So this week, oh God, it's all tangled. So this week I worked on the gusset decreases and part of the foot. So I'd say that was quite a good amount of progress. I think I was just starting the heel flap at the start of the week, I think, from what I can remember. So decent amount of progress. I still want to have this sock done by the end of August, which is tomorrow, but it's fine. It'll get done when it gets done. I'm excited to see what the September socks will look like and if I actually will be knitting them up, because if I'm not interested, I'm not interested. This beanie I made. So I wanted to cast on a Christmas gift knit, and I did. And I cast it off as well. I still haven't made the pom-pom, but I'm in no rush to do that. This is going to be gifted at Christmas. I have weaved in the ends, but I need to cut them, hence why they're all hanging out, so I don't forget to trim them. But yeah, I'm really happy with this beanie. The Quick Ombre Hat by Emily Dormier. If you're looking for something easy, quick, with, you know, some colourwork interest, definitely knit up this beanie. So that was done. Then I cast on another gift knit, the overalls. I have not seamed these up, and I don't know, I'm sure I showed you them kind of held up and what they will look like when they're seamed. They've been folded up on the couch for the last couple of days, but aren't they just the sweetest? I think I will seam these up maybe tomorrow. That way when I podcast next week, they can be a finished object. And yeah, that way I can also send off the set in time for baby's birthday. So I did that. And then I actually did cast on another Christmas gift knit, which I think you saw a little bit of. I can't remember the name of these mittens. And that's all I did. I've done a couple rows for the wrist, the main section of the mittens, and they look beautiful. Like, this red is just perfect for this pattern. Really happy with those. Yeah, Great Southern Yarn, fingering 100% merino. Big fan of that. So that's on my needles as well. As I said, I have a lot of big projects on the needles at the moment. I just got accepted for my first test knit, which I will be talking about in my podcast. And then I've also got another sweater, which I will show you just now. And then also the Salty Days cowl, which is starting this weekend. So yeah, a lot of big projects on the needles. So I want to try and, you know, filter in a couple Christmas small gifts when I can. As I said, it's been a couple of days since I last saw you, and I have got in a flow state with my dad's cable sweater. I am in love with this pattern, and I am contemplating frogging my version of the moby and just knitting up this version instead. So I finished up the back yoke yesterday, and then I picked up for the shoulders yesterday as well and finished those up this morning and joined for the neckline, which you can see. I've just joined the neckline this morning. But yeah, these cables are just scrumptious and I'm loving the way that it looks. I did show my dad this morning. I lied. I think I will show him throughout the process of knitting up this sweater. I think it would be nice for him to see, I guess, more of the process as opposed to just seeing a finished object. You know, kind of showing him how you go from this ball of yarn to the sweater of his dreams. Now, the fit. It's looking a bit small. I'm knitting up the 3rd size. And obviously you saw me gauge swatching and I got gauge after blocking. even a couple stitches larger. So I'm hoping that with washing, the yarn will bloom and grow, and then also the cables will, make sure I won't drop stitches, but they will stretch out. He doesn't want a lot of ease, if any at all. So we went with a size that wouldn't give him much ease at all. I think there's maybe a couple centimeters of ease. So that's why it looks so small. But I do think washing and blocking as well will help a lot with just making this a bit more drapey and a bit more flowy. But yeah. Now, a funny thing is, literally the day after I posted a picture of this on Instagram, Morgan sent me, and Mickey, I think it was, sent me a picture from Petite Knit, and she'd posted a WIP of hers, I guess, that had this honeycomb texture in the middle. And yeah, we were just joking around that I'm secretly Petite Knit. But yeah, I'm loving this. So that's all the knitting I did this week. As I said, the Salty Days Cal starts this weekend, and I printed off my pattern and highlighted my size. So that's ready to go, and I will be casting on in a couple of days. So I'm happy that I did my gauge swatch at the start of the week so that I know what's going on and where I'm at. A couple of people have been having trouble with gauge, but I will talk about that in my podcast and in my Salty Days vlog, which I am doing. But yeah, so thank you for joining me this week. I really did enjoy vlogging. It was a tough week mentally and emotionally, and just balancing life and everything that's going on behind the scenes. But knitting is my sanctuary. It's literally how I decompress. It's how I process things, and it is just a fantastic hobby that I'm so grateful to have. So when times get tough, you know, I can throw myself into something and make something with my hands. So yeah, really happy. I'm not sure when I'm actually going to be able to do another week of knitting vlog. As I said, I'm podcasting next week, so you guys will see that next week. But I'm not really sure when I'll have time to vlog next. But that's okay. It's all good. We've got a couple project vlogs in the works at the moment, so you'll see those before the end of the year. I'm going to stop jabbering and I will let you get on with your day. I know this is a long vlog. I've just finished editing it, and it's a hefty one. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got lots of knitting and crafting done, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.